Hey guys, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. We are here with a very special spotlight on tonight with country heat creator Autumn Calabrese. Stay tuned.
Tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome here. I know some of you join us here a lot for Nashville, so we also thought we'd like to bring you a very fun new country workout that you've created here. Can you tell us a little bit about your workout?
Yeah, so it's called Country Heat, and it is a cardio dance program really for everybody and anybody. All of the moves are very easy to follow along to. It's to the best of the best country music, the top charting hits that you're hearing from all the artists that you know. It's really easy. It's follow along. The workouts are like 30 minutes in length, maybe a little bit less. And we're having fun. We're sweating. We're torching calories. You're getting a great total body workout all in 30 minutes. And yeah, you feel great at the end of it. So
Beachbody had kind of said that this was more of like a risky workout versus some of the others that are more focused on people who are really serious, fitness, people who want to get cut or were really, intense, and that this one maybe would speak to more people out there, more everyday people.
I think Country Heat really does speak to everybody, whether you have never worked out a day in your life or you are a fitness buff. For anybody who does know me or know how I work out, like I love weights. I lift weights all the time. I have several programs that are based on weightlifting, but I'm a dancer first and foremost. I started as a dancer. That's actually what I went to college as, and you can get a great workout from dance. Like that doesn't, just because it's a dance workout doesn't mean you won't get a great workout. But the reason it appeals, I think, to so many more people, and especially maybe people who hate working out, is that it is so much fun. Whenever you hear music, you get lost in the music, especially really fun dance music. So you're just dancing, you're following along to these really easy moves I've created, and before you know it, you're sweating and you're torching calories and you're getting this amazing workout, but you don't really think about it as a workout. You're just like, that was super fun. I did it in the privacy of my own home. I didn't have to worry about if people thought I looked silly or didn't look silly or anything like that. And so it's just a great way to get your workout in. There's no equipment necessary. It's a really low impact workout. We also have a modifier in there, so if you're new to it or you need to move a little bit slower or take even the minor impact that we do have out, you can follow the modifier. So there's all these great different ways that I think it appeals to so many more people. It's easier on the joints. But I think the biggest thing is that it's fun.
It really is a lot of fun. Now, earlier tonight, you took me through some of it. I hadn't seen anything yet because I purposely wanted to not know what I was doing just so that you could teach me and I could learn about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to show a little bit of that video here for you guys. Yeah.
We're having fun. We're going to learn some moves from Country Heat. This is from Routine 1 from Country Swing. So there's move breakdowns in the workout program, which I love. You have the option to click move breakdowns and really learn the moves nice and slow, or just play the workout and dive right in. But I am going to break these 4 moves down for you so that when we do put the music on, you feel really good and confident to dance.
All right, I don't have to dive right in.
You don't have to dive right in.
Good.
So the first move is Country Swing. So what you're going to do is swing to the right. You're going to dip your hip. You're going to swing and tap your left toe. And dip and tap and dip and tap and dip and tap. And your hands can either stay here on home base, or you can have fun with them and kind of be flirty. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So one more time, Country Swing goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Next move after Country Swing, we have the Tumbleweed Roll. So your toes are going to be turned out a little bit. You may also know this is the Tootsie Roll. You're going to dip the right knee in and scoop it out. Dip the left knee in and roll it out. Dip it in and out and in and out. You're going to feel it in your quads quite a bit. So our counts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After we learn 2 moves, we always put them together. So let's just do that nice and slow together. We'll start with Country Swing to the right. Where you go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tumbleweed, right, left, right, left. It's good to have the move breakdown.
All right. What's fun is that you said this during you're on your
so let's just go to
video,
the next
you teach
two moves.
everybody like
So
this,
the next
it's
one
really
is
fun
the
to
next one is called
kind
quad
of
hop.
learn it.
So when you get Country Heat and you play it, you have two options. You can click play move breakdowns if it's your first time ever doing that routine. So you can learn the moves nice and slow, just like this. And I even do it a little bit slower, and I show every move 3 times, and I tell you what the counts are. Or if you've already learned that routine, you don't have to click play move breakdowns. You can just click play routine and jump right in. I do suggest, if it's your first time doing that routine, playing the move breakdowns, everybody, they go to routine 1 and they're like, I didn't need the move breakdowns. And then they get to routine 2 and they're like, I should have watched the move breakdowns. Like, just because the music does speed up per routine just a little bit, and you know it's definitely a little bit harder to learn at tempo than if you were to watch it first like this. But
well, I think you do, because you get excited. Like even when you were teaching me, it's like, yeah, I want to dive into it. I get it, and you're like, wait, we have to build them up. Oh yeah, hold on, maybe I'm not so ready for all.
Just so you get what the pattern is. But really, like I said, once you've watched that move breakdown and learned it for each routine one time, you probably don't need to go back to it. But if there's maybe a move that you are struggling with for whatever reason, then you have it. You can go back. You can just go right to that move and learn it. And anytime I think a person feels like they really can conquer a workout and feel good about it and finish it, that's going to make them stick with the program longer and to the end, and you're going to end up with great results if you finish the program. So every tool that I can give that will encourage somebody and make them feel really good about their workout and like they accomplished something, I'm all for that. So that's why we have the move breakdowns.
So tell me about where this idea came from for you.
Well, actually, interestingly enough, the idea came from Beachbody CEO Carl Deichler. He had the idea. He was building on the idea for seriously almost 15 years. It started with him seeing a walking program that was doing really well. Several years later, he had a work party going on where people were doing the Cupid Shuffle. And he's like, oh, line dancing, like that's an interesting idea. Like everybody's having fun, but they're also covered in sweat. And about a year and a half ago, I was at an event in Calgary. And some of the Beachbody coaches, I was going on stage to do my workout, and they introduced me, and before they let me get to the workout, they're like, we hear you like country music. And I was like, yeah, I love country music. And they're like, well, we know you're a dancer. And I was like, yeah. And they like stuck a cowboy hat on my head, and they're like, just follow along. And they had me follow along to a Cotton Eye Joe dance that they were doing. And they posted the video on Facebook, and my CEO saw it, and he was like, he called me into his office a few days later, and he's like, so you like country music, right? And I was like, yeah, I love country music. And he's like, you're a dancer. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so how do you feel about a country line dancing workout program? And I was like, oh my gosh. Yes. Like, that's a great idea. The interesting thing is what we have today as Country Heat is definitely not what it started as. It's 7 versions later. You know, to make something that is easy enough that everybody can do it, but effective enough that even the fittest person will still get results from it, that's a challenge. It's a hard balance to find. We were in the dance studio for almost a year working on that program.
So what kind of things what changed over that?
The moves and how hard the moves were. So that level of intensity of the moves, it did start out as, do we want this to be an actual line dancing program? So are we going to teach people the line dances that are out there, but plus create some of our own? And then we were like kind of steering away from that a little bit, because we were like, well, that's been done and that's out there and you can find all that, so that's not unique and new. And then it turned into like, okay, let's create our own line dances. So then we did that. And then it was like, those are a little hard. And then it was like, do we want levels or do we want this straight out? And like, it got to the point actually where we were teetering on time between really having to settle on a format. And this is our format that we came in at the final hour with, which was like, okay, I get, because I would sit down with my CEO and he'd be like, you're not there. Like, we're getting there, but we're not there yet. And finally we kind of got to the idea that it's steps. It's not choreography. That's the difference. So in a lot of dance programs, you're learning choreography, which means you learn one move, then you learn the second move, and you put those moves together. Then you learn the third move, and you put all 3 together, and the fourth, and you keep building until you have a dance routine. That's hard for a lot of people to memorize a minute and a half routine to get to what would be a successful end of your workout program. So the difference with Country Heat is you only ever have to remember 2 moves at a time. You learn move A, you learn move B, we put them together, and then you're done with them, and you don't have to come back to them in that workout. And that's great because you kind of can just get lost in that movement, and if you're not getting it for whatever reason, you're about to move on and away from it anyways.
To the next one. Yes. I think you have a little bit of the music and dance that we did tonight, so you can see a little bit more of the progressions.
Yes. That here. Yeah, you go right there. That way she can keep step touching with you. We brought Mark in for the ride.
Yeah.
It's a farming town, right? That muddy road. Tractors, clouds with flashing lights, backing up a two-lane road. They take one last lap around. Backs on up high, goes down. Then it's all come on, girl, kick it on backseat 71 like a Cadillac. We go way out where there ain't no party. We turn this cornfield into a party. Party with heart out, baby, won't you sit down?
Tumbleweed Roll, launch it first.
It really is so much fun. Like, you guys, you have to get this and try it. Like, it just, you can't help but smile and have a good time. And like you said, you don't even realize, I mean, we got sweaty at the end of doing that tonight, and we didn't even do the full, I can imagine
You
the
got
full
4
30
minutes.
Right. Yeah, so it's so much fun.
Thank
But
you.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. I love it.
So tell me more about the music, because all the tracks that are on
my
there and
gosh.
how you guys came to build those.
Yeah. So obviously music is key. And this was one thing as a dancer I was really adamant about for a lot of reasons. I was a dance major in college, and my ballet master, who was also the head of our program, they would have us do crazy things in choreography class. They would take us outside and be like, okay, pick something and choreograph a dance about it. Like an inanimate object, like a tree. Like, look at that tree, now choreograph a dance about it. And I would get so angry because I was like, this is not why I dance. Like, I hear a beat, I hear a song, and that makes me want to move. So when we were talking about it and whether or not we would have something that we call a click track, which is basically just like a background music beat, and then only dance at the end, like to a song, and I was like, no, we have got to have chart-topping hits all the way through from start to finish. And we got really lucky. We have the best of the best songs made famous by like Thomas Rhett and Luke Bryan and the Dixie Chicks. We've got Jody Messina gave us her actual vocals. We've got Big and Rich featuring Gretchen Wilson. Like, we've got every big name on there. These are all the songs, like we were watching the Country Music Awards and we're like, that's our song and that just won, and that's our song and that just won. But we sat in the dance studio probably for 2 weeks just picking music, because once we pick the songs, we have to pick them, then we have to categorize them, like, are they a flowy song, are they a poppy song, like are they high intensity, are they low intensity, so where could they fit in the dance routine, how are they going to blend with some of the other songs that we picked so that we have a nice flow in the music. Then you have to cross your fingers and send them to licensing and hope you get them. So we spent a lot of time picking music, but it was a blast, and we've got, like I said, the best of the best, and I couldn't be happier with the playlist. Like, you're just singing along, and dancing. We've got new songs. I do have a few throwback songs in there. Old school, like John Deere Green is on there, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a great variety, and like, I don't even think you have to be a country music lover to enjoy this program. In fact, there's been a lot of people who have done it who are like, I'm not really a big country music fan. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. And the second they start doing it, they're like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun, and I love the music. So
talk a little bit about the building of the set and what went into that.
we have an awesome set designer. He's actually designed for Madonna before, which is fantastic. And we knew we wanted it to have like a rugged dance hall feel to it, like a honky tonk. And so, it's just wood floors and it's a wood backdrop, and it's kind of got, we have a Shakeology bar, which is Beachbody's meal replacement shake. It's your daily dose of dense nutrition, which is amazing. So we don't have a bar, but we have our Shakeology bar in there, which is great. And the set is just, when you're looking at it, you kind of feel like you're at a honky tonk, which is great and super fun. And we've got a big background cast of dancers behind us that also makes it super fun, because you kind of feel like you're in that group setting, and we're all just having fun on set. Like, we're joking with each other here and there, and everybody looks different when they're dancing. That's the unique fun thing about dance, is that you don't all have to look the exact same. You don't have to be perfect. You can put your own style and flair on this and still get a great workout. So
Tell us about how long was the actual shoot day to create the video?
the actual shoot,
Yeah,
we shot
videos.
for a week. We shoot 2 workouts a day for a week. So we have, like, in our base kit program, we have 5 dance workouts plus a dance conditioning workout. So the dance conditioning is still all done to great music. It has a little bit of dancing in there like you see in the regular workouts, but it also has some floor work where you are getting some push-ups and sit-ups and squats and lunges and things like that are all built in there too, because I am a fitness girl, so I gotta
Get them in
them in there a little
Yeah.
bit. So you work out 6 days a week. You get your 7th day off. It's a 30-day workout program. It does come with my portion control system with the color-coded containers. So it helps you eat all the food you love just in the right portion sizes. The book explains exactly how to use the containers, which is such a huge part of really seeing success in your fitness goals, is making sure that your nutrition is on point. But I just don't believe in taking away. I think the second you tell somebody you can't have that, it's all they want. And I don't really think you have to. I think if you do, like, if you choose healthy food but in the right portion sizes, you can still enjoy a glass of wine and you can still enjoy
Splurge.
chocolate and a cookie here and there. You just can't overindulge. So
Yeah. So when somebody orders, tell them where they can order it and for how much, and you kind of already started to describe the packet and what all comes in there.
You can order it at beachbody.com, and oh my goodness, the pricing. $59.95 is for that base kit of 5 workouts, the 5 dance workouts plus the dance conditioning. But yeah, you get it at beachbody.com. And or you can we also have Beachbody on demand, which I absolutely love, which is a way to stream live. So if you wanted just the workouts, you could sign up for Beachbody on demand, and you can buy it right there and start streaming immediately, which is awesome.
And I think I saw when I was researching this that they're letting like 3 million people do that for free, right? For a while, I think there's a
30-day free trial.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's really to anybody. There's a 30-day free trial. So if somebody was curious to try Beachbody on Demand, they just go on, sign up for that 30-day free trial.
Yeah.
Hopefully they love it and
Get
stick
hooked.
with us.
Yeah.
But
If
you know,
not.
if not, no big deal. And
Yeah.
you got to work out free for 30 days. And my new cooking show with my brother releases tomorrow on Beachbody on Demand. So you get to cook with us and see that fun.
Tell us a little bit more about that too while we're on that.
So it's called FIXATE. It's actually an extension of my cookbook that I released last year, which is 101 of my perfectly portioned favorite recipes. So we have everything in the cookbook, from breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, appetizers, salads, salad dressings, cocktails, like you name it, it's in there. And the book was amazingly successful. It sold over 400,000 copies in a year, which is great for a cookbook. It's just great for a book in general. So we were debating on whether or not to do another cookbook. And as we kind of started the process of the second cookbook, Carl, our CEO, who is kind of like our genius over there, he was like, you know what, I kind of want to make it a show. That way you're not limited, and this can be an ongoing thing, because this is a way of life. And people who do 21 Day Fix was my original program with Beachbody, and that's where the color-coded portion control containers came from, started in 21 Day Fix. So people who do 21 Day Fix, it's a 21-day workout program, but they tend to do it for multiple rounds. And we've kind of nicknamed them fixers. And usually people are like, I'm a fixer for life. Like, this is me. They're like, it's my religion. It's what I do. Like, this is how I live now, is like by these color-coded containers, which is great, because after a while you don't even have to use them all the time. You sort of use them as a checkpoint. But like, I get X amount of red containers a day. That's your protein. I know I get X amount of yellows. Those are your carbohydrates. So after people started doing this for a long time, they were like, well, we want more recipes. We don't want to just know that just chicken goes in the red. Like, I want to make fajitas. What do fajitas count as? How do I containerize that? And so that's what my brother and I are doing on the cooking show now. My brother is a chef. He's an amazing chef. We grew up in Italian restaurants. My dad owned restaurants as we grew up, so that's kind of where my brother started to learn to cook. So he brings the chef side to it, and I bring the nutrition side to it, and we bring our brother-sister banter to it. And it's, we are covering the spectrum of ways to eat. So there's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's paleo, there's gluten-free, there's different ethnic dishes in there. Again, breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, appetizers, cocktails, kid-friendly recipes, like you name it, it's in there. The food is amazingly delicious. And I don't just say that because it's our cooking show. Every time my brother makes something, I'm just like, I don't even know how you did it. Like, I almost like get frustrated. I'm like, how did you do that and make it so healthy? Like, I'm so happy like I have him here to teach me, because I know just how the healthy way to cook, and sometimes that can get boring. So having somebody spice it up for me, and knowing that I can still enjoy it without feeling guilty at all.
Yeah, and then what a perfect team you guys make then. Yeah. Then does he do all your workouts?
I'm
too?
getting him there. I'm getting him there. He's actually going to start doing 21-day fix in the next week or two. He just moved out here from New York to be up to do the show with me. So we were giving him a month or two to get settled.
And then you'll put him right on
and
it.
then I'll put him to work on the workouts.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about, I mean, you've really just created such, an empire for yourself. So how did this like goal and these dreams get started for you?
Oh my God.
I know it's going way back.
I mean, it's funny if you ask my parents, they say I came out of the womb dancing. Like my mom never made it to the delivery room. She had me in the labor room. I was a very active kid, but I danced. I danced through grade school. I competed through grade school. I majored in dance in college. I always wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to do two things. I wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted to do something that put me in the spotlight. Like, I enjoy being in the spotlight. I didn't know exactly what that was for a long time. I thought that was just going to be dance. I thought maybe I'd be a professional dancer. But I actually injured my back in college. I ended up with a bulging disc in my lower spine. So although I can dancing for 7 and 8 hours a day, the way you would if you were touring with somebody or something like that, my back wasn't going to really allow me to do that. And so I did like the acting thing for a little bit. And I was like, this just isn't quite the direction I wanted to go. And I started looking into personal training certifications, because like I said, I really enjoy helping people, and I enjoy helping people be healthy and fit. And it's always something I've been passionate about. So I got my first certification, almost 13 years ago now. And that, I guess that sort of started my journey. It was like, I started doing in-home personal training. I got several more certifications. I got a specialty in pre- and postnatal fitness. I started working with Brooke Burke and her website, modernmom.com.
You were writing for that?
I was writing for that, and then I was also doing some YouTube videos with Brooke for that site. For several years, actually, I worked with her. Then I was working at Equinox. I took on several celebrity clients there. I was training Tom Bergeron. I trained Kendall and Kylie Jenner for a little while. And in the process, I created a portion control system. At the time when I launched it myself, it was called Change My Plate. I launched it on the Hallmark Channel. And a few months, maybe 2 months after I launched it, one of my clients who was in the movie industry passed it on to a friend she knew. He passed it on to a friend he knew who was somebody at Beachbody. They then kind of looked into who I was, saw my YouTube segments with Brooke. They brought me in for an interview. And the long and short of it is that I got, my dreams all came true, and I got to sign on with the best company there is in health and fitness and wellness. And here we are 4.5 years later, and 4 programs deep, a cookbook, a cooking show, and a clothing line. And it's
That's
crazy.
quite a lot. Well, what I enjoy too is that I was, looking back at a lot of your clips on YouTube and different things. And, there was one interview where you also talked about some of things that you, like adversity that you'd been through, like when you were a little kid and they didn't want you to be active, and that, And so how have you fought through some things like that?
Yeah, as a kid, I woke up one morning, I was like 5. I went to bed one night with my hip hurting. I woke up the next morning, went to get out of bed, and collapsed to the floor because I was in so much pain. And my mom, at first my mom was like, "You're going to kindergarten, Autumn, get up." And I was like, and then as soon as she realized I was crying, she was like, "Oh, we have a serious problem." Yeah. And I was rushed to the hospital, and they ran every test possible. The long and short of that story is they never did find out what was wrong with my hip. The doctors told they thought I had everything. They were like, could it be a flesh-eating bacteria eating her muscle from the inside? Like, they just had no idea. I spent a week in the hospital. They sent me home on crutches, and a week or two later, the pain was gone, and it was better. But because they never knew what was wrong with it, they were always cautious to my parents of like, maybe you don't let her do certain things. So like I wanted to do gymnastics and they were always like, no. And I wanted to dance. I actually didn't get to start dancing until I was 13, which is very late for a dancer. For somebody who wants it to be a career. I mean, kids had 7 and 8 years of experience on me going into it. But so that was probably the first, I was 5 the first time I faced not being able to do everything that I wanted to be able to do. And there was a lot of times all throughout my life. I mean, I talk about it. My mom was like, "You're moving to LA? Why? Like, what makes you think you're going to be better than the next person or make it?" Which, it's a hard thing coming from your parent.
Yeah.
I was up to replace Jillian Michaels on The Biggest Loser when she was leaving one season, and I auditioned for 4 months for that part, and it came down to myself and Anna Kournikova. And they didn't tell me that that's who it came down to. They just told me it was me and one other person. The casting director called me and she's like, "It's you and one other person, and if they don't pick you, you'll know why." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And then they announced that it was Anna Kournikova, and I was like, "Okay, I get it. They went with like a celebrity. Okay, fine, that happens." But
probably tough for you when you put your life into.
Yeah, because look, I get it. She's a tennis player and everything, but like I'm like, you're talking about people's health and knowing how to exercise, and that's very different than being a good athlete. But everybody's look, the universe works in mysterious ways. It all happens for a reason. I say it all the time. I'm so appreciative that door didn't open for me the way I thought it was going to, or I wanted it to, because I wouldn't trade this for that any day of the week. Like, this is where I belong. This is my home. Beachbody's my family. That's so every challenge that I've faced, it has led me right to where I am today. And so for that, you can't be mad about it. It just makes you who you are.
Yeah. And you've always really, because I also heard you talking about how your husband at the time had wanted to move you away too, and that you just got in the car after a while, 5 weeks, I think, or something, and or like, "I'm moving back, I know." So talk about that. Just sometimes I think it's hard, women, everybody faces when you want to pursue your goals, but maybe something's, pulling you in another direction. I mean, talk about that experience for you of how you went to pursue what you needed to do.
I had built my own personal training business, in-home training business. I had built a very solid business over several years. Unfortunately, my husband at the time wasn't really happy with where his career was going. And we were talking about it, and he started applying for other jobs. And at the time, my son was 6 months old. And he applied to be a general manager at Equinox. And he got hired, but he got hired to be the manager in Dallas, Texas. And so we were talking about it, and it was like, should we go or shouldn't we go? And my mom lives in Dallas, and at the time her and I were still talking. And I was like, well, my mom's there, so we have family there. And, I guess it's the cost of living's less, so, and I could build probably there what I've built here. It might take a little bit longer, but I'm sure I could do it. And so we agreed to go. And we were standing in our apartment, packing our apartment, and I was standing in my bedroom with my best friend, and my husband and my son were in the other room, and I was sobbing to her, and I was like, "This doesn't feel right." And she's like, "You're just scared. It's going to be fine." And I was like, "No, it doesn't feel right. Like, I worked my whole life to get to LA. I don't feel like I'm done here." And, but what am I going to do? My husband's going, and we're packed up, and we're going. So we went. And we were there for 5 weeks, and I cried every day for 5 weeks. And I was like, I feel it in every being of my body. This is not where I belong. And I said, I'm going back with or without you. This is not about a divorce or anything. I'm just telling you, if I don't go back, my business is going to be gone. And I worked for 5 years to build that. And my husband said, okay, I get it. Like, he's like, I'm gonna stay, and because I need a job. I can't not have a job. I have to take care of you guys. So I'll put in for a transfer, and I don't know how long it'll take, but when I get transferred back, I'll get transferred back. And I packed the car up and packed my 6-month son up, and we drove back to LA. And I called all my clients, and I got all of my clients back. And that was, it was the start of kind of doing it on my own. My son was 6 months. I had to hire a nanny. I was working from 5 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would run home in between and see my son in between clients. And I was done by 3, and I had him by myself. And that was it. And my husband did come back 3 months later, and we were still together for 2 more years after that. But, and he and I are still great friends. We just didn't work out as husband and wife. But it was one of those things where it was like, I had to listen to my heart, and my heart was saying, like, you don't belong here. And I just knew it. I just knew. And I mean, thank God, because again, had I stayed there, I wouldn't be here. And this is where I belong. So
Yeah.
So it's
giving us-
scary.
yeah.
It's scary. Like there's a lot of times and a lot of things that we have to face in life that are scary and that unknown, and like, can I really do it, or should I really do it? You know, like, how will I be judged from, you know, leaving my husband here and taking my son back? And everybody has their own path to take, but that was mine, and it worked out very well. So,
But I think good for you for listening to that, you know, listening to that feeling and
Yeah.
trusting yourself and your instincts and going with it, because that does, you know, take a lot of courage and strength to do. Yeah.
Daddy made me strong. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's go back to Country Heat a little
Yeah.
bit. So what is there anything? So you just did a big release in Nashville.
Yes.
Talk about that, because the pictures I saw on YouTube, that just looked like an amazing time for everybody.
So much fun. So once a year, Beachbody has something we call the Beachbody Summit. And it's our biggest event of the year. We had almost 30,000 Beachbody coaches at it this year, which is our biggest event to date. And it was in Nashville. It switches cities. Like, it's not always in the same city, but the last 2 years we've been in Nashville. And it was so great knowing that I had the Nashville launch. So Beachbody, we release programs all throughout the year, but the Summit launch is like a big launch. That's the biggest launch of the year. And we were absolutely going to release Country Heat in Nashville. And that's pretty amazing to be on a stage of 30,000 people. Jody, who I have become friends with, Jody Messina, she's amazing. And I had called her to, like, when we found out we were doing Country Heat, and said, will you write an original song for me? Like, can we do a song? And she's like, for you, I'll do it. Cool. Absolutely. And so she wrote Nightcrawl. And there, I choreographed the line dance that goes to it. So it's an original song and it's an original line dance. You can only find it on Country Heat. And we got to perform it together at Summit. So that's like a childhood dream coming true. One of my idols is on stage singing a song she wrote for me as I dance a dance that I got. So it's so cool to have both of my loves coming together, fitness and dance, and getting to put them all together and launch it. And my family lives in Nashville. My dad is there. My sister's there. My nephews are there. So having them, and my son was in the audience, and my brother was there because we were also announcing the FIXATE cooking show. And it was just so cool. I got to dance on stage with all the backup dancers. Carl, the CEO, came on and danced with us along with Michael Neiman. So like, it was just such an awesome moment to have that, and to be able to release it in Nashville with all this amazing country music. We got to go do radio interviews. Jody and I did a whole day of radio interviews together, and it's just blowing up. It's doing amazing. It had an amazing launch. My original program for Beachbody, 21 Day Fix, actually held the spot for 24 months straight of being our top selling program, and Country Heat took it down for the first time.
You took yourself.
So I took myself down. So I can't be
But now
mad
you're first
about
and
it, 'cause
second,
it was like
right?
me and- But that's awesome, because really what that means is just that I get to help that many more people, or that I'm helping that many more people. 21 Day Fix has done amazing things for millions of people, and that alone is just awe-inspiring, and just like, oh my God, I can't believe what I get to say I do. Like, I can't even call it a job. And then to know that Country Heat, what I think Country Heat can help even more people. The results we're seeing from it are amazing. I mean, we were having several people already. We ran test groups. We always run test groups to make sure that the program works before we launch it. And several people that that were in the Dallas test group, they lost 60 pounds, 60 pounds in 90 days. So that's 20 pounds a month. Consecutively. That is, like, for people who aren't in the fitness know, like, people spend their lifetime trying to lose 60 pounds. To lose it in 3 months, dancing without ever picking up a weight, and just eating in the proper portions. And I promise you're not starving. Like, people look at me and assume I don't eat, and I'm like, oh no, I eat the house down. Like, I promise I probably eat more than all of you guys. I'm like, I'm a pig. So to just know and see that people are doing it, and to watch them keep saying how much fun they're having, it's incredible. And like I said, to have launched at our biggest event of the year for 30,000 people was just dream come true.
I know you love getting the reactions, knowing that you're helping people. Are there any particular stories, or?
Oh my God, there's so many. There really are. But look, I grew up in the dance world, and I've been lucky enough to not be a dancer that suffers from any kind of eating disorders, but I watched enough people suffer from them to see just how scary they are. And I've had several women come up to me and tell me they've suffered from eating disorders their whole lives. They've been in and out of clinics. They've never been able to get it under control. And for the first time using the container system in 21 Day Fix, they're healthy, they're eating, and they're not afraid of food anymore. That is a huge accomplishment. Like that, I still have a hard time even wrapping my brain around that, because it's like, oh my God, they're just these rainbow containers. And they're so simple, and it makes it so easy. And to know that it could take all the scariness away for somebody who's spent their whole life battling it is pretty awesome. I've watched moms. There was a girl when I first launched 21 Day Fix. She had never really worked out, and she had been doing 21 Day Fix for several months, and she was strong and she was doing good, and she was going to celebrate with, I think it was her fiance, the fact that she had just finished another round. And they were going out on a boat, and she got in a horrible boating accident. And I mean, was in a wheelchair and just craziness. But the doctors told her that if her muscles weren't as strong as they were, her bones would have shattered and she would have never recovered. And I got to meet her at an event, and she walked out on stage to hug me. So that was see, there goes. So moments like that are just like, here's somebody who never worked out because they were just afraid of working out, and they found something that, like, they're like, oh, I can do that for 21 days, and thank God, because it saved their life. But there's a millions from somebody who's lost 5 pounds to somebody who's lost, I just saw somebody who lost 133. I met somebody at Nashville Summit who had lost over 200 pounds on 21 Day Fix, which was the biggest weight loss story I've heard to date with it. And that's life-changing for people, and it's really cool to get to be a part of it. So,
is there anything else about this Country Heat one that maybe has surprised you, that you didn't, any aspect that you didn't see come in when you went into it?
I'm not gonna lie, the weight loss that we're seeing from it is more than I expected. It's not that I didn't expect it to have great results, but the results that I'm seeing from it are even better than I could have ever imagined. And I really do think it's one, so people are having so much fun that when you're having fun, you really will put more into it. So like, if you dread your workout, like, you're going to get in there and do it, but you might not give it everything you have because you're just like, oh my God, it's so hard. I'm not going to finish that rep. I'm not going to lift quite as heavy, because you're just thinking that it's hard. Whereas when you're dancing and having fun, you're just having fun. So you kind of let go of all of that chatter that happens in your brain when you're working out, and you go for it. And like I said, we're just seeing insane weight loss numbers, which is great. But also, you know, you're watching everybody's body tone up from head to toe. And that's things that people expect not to happen, because they're like, but I'm not weightlifting, so, like, am I going to have definition? And you're seeing people's abs come in, and their shoulders come in, and their legs are toned, and their butts lifted. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, I got it in there. Trust me. I snuck it all in. So I think that is one of the biggest things, is just the success that people are having is awesome.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, I'm excited to share it with. I told you I was from Nebraska, so we've been doing line dancing and stuff since we were like 18, going into guitars and Cadillacs. But I mean, even my family, and they're not known for eating the healthiest, and there's a lot of processed stuff. There's a lot of, you know. But I think, and some people that I know are a little intimidated there. They wouldn't pop in some of the more, you know, like a P90X or something that's just not their thing. But I think if I like showed this, that they'd be like, this is great. Or they'd probably even have their girlfriends over, other women in the neighborhood, you know, and be doing that, like, because it is just so much fun and just,
and that's
like,
what you're seeing. We're seeing so many families do it, which I absolutely love. So you're seeing wives get their husbands to do it, which is so fun, because, like, that's a bonding experience for them. Like they're doing it, but you're seeing the kids join in, and I think that's so important when you get the kids joining in, because, look, they might just be kind of goofing around with you, but it's still teaching them, like, this is just something we do. Just like we get up and we brush our teeth, we exercise, because it's part of taking care of our bodies. And the sooner you start teaching them, and the healthier you are as a parent, the healthier they're going to be. And really, that is our future. Like, the kids are our future. So making sure that they see it and we're setting that great example is is really important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think right now you also have, I know we don't have a ton of time here, a contest going, right? Where people can talk about that.
Yeah, so we have the Country Heat contest going. So it goes through, I'm going to say the end of the month, and I'm pretty sure it's through the end of the month. But basically, if you do Country Heat, you just record yourself doing some portion of the workout for a minute or less, yourself and your family. So it could be your kids, your husband, your parents, whoever, your cousins, whatever. Record yourself doing it with your family, minute or less, and you post it to Facebook or Instagram, and you hashtag it Country Heat and contest.
They have to have both, right?
They have to have both hashtags.
Very important.
Country Heat and contest. And every day we're picking a winner to win $1,000. That's just it. Like, there's no gimmicks to it. There's nothing to it. It's just, we want to see families doing it. We love, like I said, that everybody's getting involved. We had a really awesome one the other day. It was a girl was doing it. She's probably in her late teens, maybe 18 or 19. And her grandma came around the corner. And, like, just in the background, her grandma starts trying to do it. She had no idea her grandma was back there. And it was the cutest thing ever, because her grandma's just trying to, like, get the move, right? And then she turned around and she saw her grandma. And I was like, that's such a sweet moment of, like, your grandma just tried to do it with you. How cool is that? Like, it was super fun. So,
that's great. That's got to be so fun to watch all those.
It is. You see the kids doing it, and I always get a kick out of watching the husbands do it. Like, and some of them really, you're like, hey, they have moves. Like, good for you. So yeah, it's super fun to watch.
That's great. Well, I think that's about all the time we have. But tell everybody again where they can get everything, where they can follow you, where they can see your new show. Give the whole pitch.
All right. So you can get Country Heat or any one of my other programs at beachbody.com. You can get the FIXATE cooking book at beachbody.com as well. You can get the Autumn Calabrese for Beachbody clothing line at beachbody.com. But you can also go on to subscribe to Beachbody On Demand, which is our streaming channel. And you can get my new cooking show FIXATE with myself and my brother, which officially launches tomorrow. But you also have access to 21 Day Fix on there. There are certain things that you have to pay a little bit more for. 21 Day Fix and Country Heat are ones that you would have to pay a little bit more for, but 21 Day Fix Extreme is on there. That's included in the free member content. Hammer and Chisel, my weight training program, that's included in the free member content. There's so many awesome things. We've got yoga on there. We've got P90X. You've got all of Beachbody's super trainers on there. You've got our other reality show, The 20s, on there. So, Beachbody On Demand is quite the place to be for all of your health and fitness needs.
There's something for everybody. There's
really
no excuses. Some sort of workout on there for you.
And nutrition. And nutrition with the cooking show. So yeah, that's where you can follow me on Instagram at Autumn Calabrese. You can go to my Facebook fan page, which is also Autumn Calabrese. I'm on Twitter as Autumn Calabrese. You can check out my website, autumncalabrese.com. So yeah, that's all the places you can find me.
That's awesome. Very busy lady.
Yes.
Well, it's awesome. I think everything that you do is wonderful, and it's just great that you're sharing this with everybody. And so everybody, get Country Heat. You're going to love it. It's so much fun. So thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing your time with us. I really appreciate it.
Dancing with me. That was awesome.
Yeah. All right, that's it for us tonight here at AfterBuzz TV, guys. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.